There's been many Christmases where I sat in awe of like, thank you so much for the gift you gave, for literally the entire world was interrupted. And that's why I titled it The Moment the Whole World Changed. Like, there is no point in history greater than that moment where the heavens split and the king became a child.
Let's talk a little bit about the evolution of your sound and this identity of Danny Gokey that we've seen over the years.
Okay.
We are living in Christmas land right now, which is great. And it is a big part of what you do. Everybody looks forward to your Christmas tours and your Christmas songs, and you're getting ready for Carnegie, which is huge. But we also know Danny Gokey from American Idol.
Yeah.
We know country Danny Gokey.
Yeah.
And we've seen your evolution all the way up through your adult contemporary Christian music. Where do you feel like you are today compared to where you started? Like personality-wise, career-wise, your evolution, is this the point you hoped you'd be at? Or do you look back at younger Danny and go, I would like to revisit that?
Yeah, I think I didn't really have a full grasp on my identity when I was on American Idol. And identity is important because many times you'll work for your identity as opposed to work from your identity, which is a huge thing. And it might sound like I'm trying to be slick with these words. No, it's a very true thing. And I always just let other people define me and let other people suggest. And unfortunately, later in life, unfortunately and fortunately, the lesson's been learned that later in life, I'm realizing who I am, what God has called me to be. And I look back at some of my past choices and, and just wish if I only knew now what I knew then.
Right.
But all these lessons are important and are important in growing. And so I don't have regrets per se, but I do now with my children, one thing I will do is make sure that they know their identity so that they're not tossed to and fro by suggestions, by misplaced desires, and because right now we have a generation of people who just want to be famous at all costs. And so they'll do whatever it takes, not realizing that they're living by feeling more than by principle. And identity is principle in who you are. And so like at 12 years old, Jesus said, I must be about my Father's business. And so the faster we can connect people with their purpose and their identity, the faster that they'll produce the fruit that is pleasing to the Father. And so anyways, that long answer for a very short form, have no regrets. But if I knew then what I knew now, I think things would be different and probably even be further.
What would you tell young Danny walking into this path?
Yeah, don't chase fame. Don't chase, because here's the thing, like growing up, I submitted my whole life to God and to give him my gift to him. When I went on American Idol, it opened a door to fame like I'd never seen before. And that fame became pretty addicting where you were like,
sure, I
got to keep doing things to stay in the limelight, to stay in and that is not the right thing to do.
Right.
It was fun for a season, right? But you look back and you say, none of this matters. What matters is doing what God has called me to do. And so I would just say that, always stay on track, keep your eyes focused on Jesus. Things that look good right now, many times leave you empty. Now, I didn't go down any bad path. I always was a Christian, always stayed faithful to God. That's not it's chasing things that I thought would validate me, as opposed to chasing, to following after God and allowing him to validate me. Because here's the thing, there's people who are doing great things they're not getting recognition for.
Absolutely.
But it's still great, right? Mm-hmm. I would say it's a smoke and mirror society where most of the things that we think is great really isn't that great. I'm telling you. And that's a hard pill to swallow. The people who look like they're doing most for the kingdom, we might find out that they were actually doing the least. And the people who look like they're doing the least, we might find out they actually were doing the most.
I love that because I very much live in a constant prayer bubble with God where he has to remind me every day of what's meant for you will find you.
Yeah.
Trust me in this process. Take one step every day. Just follow my voice, and what's meant for you will find you. And because I'm definitely a personality where I'm like, oh, I can make this happen.
Yeah, me too.
If I can see it, I can do it. And the Lord has to put the brakes on me.
Yeah, because our culture says that. That's what you need to do. Just get that desire, run as fast as you can, do what it takes. But when people live by that mentality, you're stepping on people, you're hurting people, you become very self-centered. You know what I mean? As opposed to laying our life down, being selfless and being image. Paul looked like a failure. In this day and age, Paul would be looked as a failure. truthfully, I mean, think Jesus would be the greatest failure. Joseph would be a huge failure, because I could just probably pause right there and just say, yeah, people can know what I'm saying when I'm saying
Yeah, absolutely.
that.
I'm following you. Are there defining moments through each of these albums? You Hope in Front of Me, Rise, Haven't Seen It Yet, Jesus People, we can go down the list. Are there moments in those where God like peeked out at you and surprised you?
Yeah, let's go back all the way to Hope in Front of Me when I transitioned out of that, country music career and felt like a failure, but just knew I was going to keep my eyes on Jesus, that it wasn't done yet. And that was like the pervading thought. It's not done yet. God's transitioning me. And that's what I kept hearing, like, I'm transitioning you. And Hope in Front of Me, I mean, when we went to go to get it placed on radio, it was not looking promising. And not a lot of belief. And then all of a sudden it turned a corner and it became a 4-week #1 and re-cemented my place in music. I mean, it was like, whoa. I mean, we were witnessing, God just putting me back where I was supposed to be. And I loved it.
Confirming.
Confirming. And man, it was just beautiful. Because I remember before Hope in Front of Me, here's what people don't know, is that, I mean, I was struggling. I remember I had $40 in my checking account. We had just released Hope in Front of Me, but I had $40 in my checking account. My washer broke down, and I had no food, and I had no other job lined up. Like, it was like, music's gonna work or it's not. And I remember just getting on my knees one day and saying, if this doesn't work, I don't know what's next. And the rest is history. Like, offers started coming in, doing shows. The song took off. That was in February 2014, and it turned into a multi-week hit in, I think, late summer. And so it was kind of cool. And then seeing just the momentum take after that, getting on tours. And it wasn't all easy, not at all, but it started working.
Things that are worth it are hardly ever easy.
Tell me about it.
That's so cool. So what would Danny Gokey have done if music was not the path?
Well, for many years, I would say, there's two things, like work in nonprofits, but also be an entrepreneur in business. That would have been I love.
That's basically what you do now, though.
Yeah, it really is, truthfully.
So you're living all the dreams, basically.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's saying a lot. Not only about your work ethic, because that's a lot of jobs to have at one time, but also about your heart for other people. Let's talk about your nonprofit. Can you tell us a little bit about it, what you're doing? Yeah, so my nonprofit has gone through different phases. It's all started with when my first wife passed away unexpectedly. We had health benefits through her job, and there was a death stipend part of the health benefits. It wasn't much. It was $39,000. But I just knew that when we said I do at the altar 4 years earlier before she passed, that it wasn't over yet. And so our hearts were to help people. And so I took that check and I just said, Lord, this is your money. As opposed to go buying a car, just, it just had meaning. And so started an organization, and it's gone through phases. It's gone through phases. In Nashville, we started a music and arts program, and then it turned into a homeless program. We took in over 200 homeless families. But I was new at this, and so I wasn't very good at it. And my music career started taking off, and I got to a point where we didn't have a lot of finances, and so I had to shut down the organization because I couldn't fundraise enough while my career started taking off. So I had to shut it down, and I had this intense guilt over it of, I feel bad. So I from the sale of the building, we graduated a lot of families, but the families that were still in there replaced in other homeless organizations, and started giving a lot of money away to other organizations from this seed money. And then the Lord really paused me. And we've done give backs where we've done this a lot. We've helped other organizations. I never wanted to be shut down. So we want to make sure no other organizations shut down. So we would help them and gift them things that they would need to keep going forward. And I have 60 acres in Antioch that we're exploring right now for a new phase of ministry. I can't say too much about it, but God's given me vision. So it's still evolving. We've done some great things, and I still think the best is yet to come. Absolutely. And I'm just really happy that from that, we've seen a lot of impact, millions upon millions of dollars impact people, and provided homes and for homeless and
food for people who are hungry, all kinds of stuff we've done through our partners. And so a lot more stuff happening with that.
And if people want to know more,
yeah, they can go to betterthanifoundit.org and people can learn about it. And like I said, we have some big things cooking up right now. We're meeting with Belmont Innovation Team for this next phase of dreaming out what we could do on the 60 acres, because there's some potential.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So you just released the video for The Moment the Whole World Changed, which is beautiful and dramatic and the most Christmassy anyone could ever want. Tell us about the song, tell us about the inspiration and what it was like producing this video.
Yeah, so in 2023, I had this idea, I began to pray and just ask the Lord to, help me write a Christmas song that would, one from inspired by him, right? He's the greatest songwriter, our Father in heaven. So I sat down at the piano and I just remember sitting there saying, all right, just come up with a melody. Just start and just believe that God was writing it with me. And I started coming up with this chorus and this verse and these O's and this bridge. And I wrote it. I was like, wow. Because writing by myself has been a new thing. I'm always writing with other writers. And so anyways, I went to go that year release the song. But I'm glad that it didn't work. Because if I were to be honest with myself, there are certain parts of the song that wasn't ready to be released yet. It needed some fine tuning. So 2024 came along, same situation. I just released a record, so I was like, I can't release a record and promote this and then put a Christmas song out. So then 2025 came along and I sat down and I was like, all right, I need to revisit this song. Is it really ready to be released or could it use some finessing? And as I sat down in it, I just knew I needed help with the bridge. The bridge was just, I wasn't proud of. And so anyways, as I take you through the songwriter process, you can see kind of like the struggle we have, especially when you're doing it by yourself. You have to be your own critic. And so as I begin to just pray about who should I let in on this song, because you just can't let any other songwriter in on it. Mitch Wong occurred to me as a songwriter, very awesome songwriter. And I called him up. I said, hey, I got this song, but the bridge I really struggle with. And he took the song and he tweaked the bridge in such a beautiful way and a few other different parts around the song that it was exactly what I was looking for. Now, mind you, at this part, I was ready to produce it. Tasha Layton's husband, Keith Smith, produced it. And I took it to him. And at this point, I had separated the O's from the song because I had these O's, I didn't know how they fit in the song. So far the demo is just verses and chorus. That's it. And the O's is a very huge part of the song. And I went to Keith, I said, can we fit these O's? Here's the song, but these O's, does it fit in this song or do I need to just add these O's to a different song? Because I like the O's, this melody. Mm-hmm. And he goes, let me see what I can do. And the first draft of the song, he took it and blended it all together, and it was incredible. It was everything I thought the song should be. And this is why you got to have good people around you. The Bible says two are better than one, right? And is it a three chord strand is not easily broken. Right. So there's power in people's help and advice and a multitude of counselors. And so when we got the song out, I was just so happy I didn't release it in 2023 or 2024, and that I took the time to sit down with it. So then we went to go produce it, and I wanted to direct this video. And so I started conceptualizing, well, how do I see this video? And I picked a Catholic church, and that might be surprising to some people.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, I think it's beautiful. I love the artistic value and the honor the Catholic Church brings to the scriptures and to, I'm not saying they have it all 100%, but neither do Protestants or everyone's trying to figure out with the knowledge they have and work through the traditions that they've been brought up with to say, well, what is the truth? And so I filmed in this beautiful Catholic church called Assumption Church down in Nashville.
The iconography is just gorgeous. The colors, the windows, everything.
I was so thankful. We kind of had to fight to get into that church because a lot of people are trying to film there, but the lady was gracious enough who runs the church to let us in, and I was just so happy. And then the snow scenes and the song is just one of those things where it's sacred, it's reverential, it's very Christmassy, it's worshipful, but it's a little bit nostalgic and it's personal. So that was the interesting thing with the song is that it starts very personal, but it turns into corporate worship, which I don't know many songs that do that, but that was how I wanted people to reflect and have that moment and then to join the angels, join the worshipers, the wise men, the shepherds, and worship the King who's deserving of our praise.
I feel like you wrapped that up with a bow perfectly in the video. When we were getting inspiration for today, that was my reference, was this video, because I was like, well, this is Christmas. This is who I want to see. This is how I want to see it when it comes to time to celebrate the Lord. It was reverent. It was beautiful. It's something I think everyone will remember. And I think when Christmas comes around, we're all looking for that nostalgia. We're all looking for that like moment that we can cling to. And I think you've created that for 2025.
Thank you.
So when you wrote this song, you said it was personal. Is there a moment like of inspiration, maybe a scripture or a personal story that was like, this is what I'm thinking of as this line comes out of my mouth?
Well, I think when the very opening line, every December I stop to remember the humble entrance of our King. That line, truly, every time Christmas comes around, there's been many Christmases where I sat in awe of like, thank you so much for the gift you gave, for literally the entire world was interrupted. And that's why I titled it The Moment the Whole World Changed. Like, there is no point in history greater than that moment where the heavens split and the King became a child, became an infant. But there's something very reverential about that. I can go back as far as when I was, and I think it's important that we stop to remember and not rush through Christmas, because we'll miss the meaning of it. And actually, Christmas won't be as fulfilling as what God intended it to be. Absolutely. Right? Just like family's not as fulfilling or a job is not as fulfilling without Christ at the center. And I remember I must have been like 6 or 7 years old. I was in my car with my parents, and on Christmas Eve, we would visit my mom's side of the family, my dad's side of the family, and go home. And all three places, we'd open gifts. Now, we didn't have much, but you felt rich when you got to go to three places to open up presents, right?
Definitely.
So my parents did a good job of making us feel like we, even though we didn't have a lot, that we did have stuff. And so, but I remember on my way from my one grandparent's house to the other grandparent's house, I remember listening to my parents had worship on in the car. Remember that song? Jesus, 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 there's just something about that name.
Yes.
And as I sat there, this is the thought that came to my mind. Lord, you can have my presents. The very few presents I had, in my heart, I presented them to him, because in that moment, I just realized that, like, you're worthy of it all. I was young,
You
didn't
created
understand.
an altar in your back seat.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing.
Without a doubt. That's a great way to put it. But since that, I've had several moments where I've attended church worship services, and that awe of what he did positioned me to receive all that he had each Christmas and to enjoy Christmas as it was meant to be.
Absolutely. That's one of my favorite things about this song is I feel like you created a Christmas song that doesn't have all of the cliches.
Yeah. Thank you.
Was that an intentional thing? Was that like a hard process, or was that kind of a natural flow? Like that was the inspiration?
It was the natural flow. I don't even know how to explain it, except that as the song progressed, it really did feel like God picked up his pen and wrote through me. And I don't know how else to put it. Like, I'm really happy how it turned out to be. The whole focus of the song was to go back to the intended meaning of Christmas, of God with us, Emmanuel.
Obviously, when you write a Christmas song and you release a Christmas music video, you are hoping that this sticks with people. This is something impactful. Is there something or part of this that you hope people take on as a tradition, or that maybe churches pick up? Because for me, I look at this and go, this has Christmas cantata written all over it. Every
Yes.
choir, every soloist is going to want to sing this song. Was that a part of your vision? Have you kind of seen that come to fruition this year?
It actually wasn't. When I stepped out to write the song, I had no agenda. But it turned into that. And what's interesting, I'm playing Carnegie Hall this Christmas.
Yes.
And one of the things that it's this, they have it's a choir director, orchestra, like tons of, I think, a 200-piece choir, over almost 300-piece choir. But that's the one thing the choir director told my manager was that, hey, be prepared. People are going to want to sing this. You should have a version ready for churches to sing, because it's good. If you have a
100%.
track or something. And I love that, because I think when people want to sing, it means they were related. It pointed them towards the right place. It didn't point them towards me. It pointed them towards the purpose and the reason.
Absolutely.
And so that's important. When you can accomplish that, I think that's a huge win.
I look at this and I think, one, when I saw the video and realized like what a grand scale this production felt like and just how enormous this song felt, we were putting together the shoot. I was like, man, I would love for him to be able to perform that live, but I can't imagine an acoustic version of this. So when I think through it on this like grand scale, like you have to have the choir, you have to have the strings, you have to have this moment, because in my head it's like, Mary, did you know, almost like that's the moment, you know, in these productions and these plays at churches and in these big rooms like Carnegie, that you're just like, oh, this is the icing on the cupcake. I just feel like this song is larger than life, and I think it's going to leave a legacy behind. And I feel like this is something 20 years from now, we're still going to be singing this song.
I hope so. That's a desire and a wish. And so I believe the Lord had me write it. And so even today I said, Lord, you know, because here's the thing, like you can write the best song in the world, but if no one hears it and there's not a marketing plan behind it and you don't get it out, I mean, just, it is what it is. You got to have full exposure. And so I just like, Lord, I believe you told me to write the song. And so I give it to you. You'll get it where it's supposed to go.
Well, and that's why it's such a blessing with this, with our December cover, is we get to show our audience this music video.
Yeah.
So they may not get to see you play it stripped down, but I think the video does it way more justice than we could ever do.
I'm going to try it though.
Are you?
Yeah, we're going to try it.
Oh, okay.
Now here's the reason why. It's such a big song. I have to I've been practicing it yesterday and today, just like trying to breath support. It's soaring. It makes all my other songs I've ever sang before easy.
Wow.
I do the song, The Prayer.
I mean, it's a lot of song.
It
so
is.
when we were told that that's not really an easy one to do acoustic, we were like, okay, we'll just play the video. Which is great, and we'll still do that.
Well, and that's the funny thing, because I did a Christmas rehearsal just last week to prepare for Carnegie.
Yeah.
And I sang The Prayer. That used to be the big song that was like, all right, prepare, you know, tighten your belt, get ready to sing this.
Goes.
And Mary, did you know too, they were so easy. And I was like, I guess, but that's the thing, when I hit new levels of like conquering a new song, because that's what it takes for me, is to have to sing it, I have to get muscle memory, I have to go.
Yeah.
And so, but it made those other songs like, wow, those songs that used to feel hard are like a breeze.
Look at this. He's been working out. So coming up the rest of the year, obviously Carnegie Hall, big moment.
Yeah.
Christmas tour.
Yeah.
What's next?
Well, I will now be getting back. I'm in prayer again about the next song. All right, Lord, because I really want to be Spirit-led in my writing and really just write as I've solidified my identity and know who I am more. Like, I remember when I was in the studio, this might be hard for people to believe. When I sang on American Idol, here's the thing, like knowing your identity is key, because when I sang on American Idol, you know, people would tell me how much they love my growl. And so I would growl a little extra, you know, when I was singing. But that wasn't my authentic voice on American Idol. So I remember getting in the studio when I signed my record deal with BMG after I lost my first record deal. And Bernie Herms, Natalie Grant's husband, was my producer. And I would sing in the studio, he goes, that sounds good. And that sounds like, you know, Michael McDonald. But what do you sound like? I want to hear what your voice is. And I'd never been asked that. I just mimicked other people who were around me. And just because that's what I knew, what made people happy, do what makes people happy. That is a trap. Don't do what makes people happy. Do what pleases the Father, right? What do they say? If everyone's born original, but most people die a carbon copy. You know?
Oh, we're going to church today. Okay.
Yeah. And so
I'm cool with
I
it.
was just doing what would get people to be, and you don't know any better than that. So in my early 30s, I started finding out what's my true voice. And in my Christian music career, you start really seeing me finding my true voice.
There is an evolution, for sure.
There absolutely is. And so now that I've got this all figured out, the side of me I never saw myself as a songwriter, but now I see myself as I can write songs, and I'm going to write songs by myself. And I'm going to, you know, not that I'm going to involve other people, but I'm going to start concepts and not have to use other people's concepts. And it's just a very interesting evolution that gets me very excited. But it's lessons I've learned to pass down to my children. Like right now, my daughter has a unique voice. And one of the things, we put our kids in theater, and one of the things I was concerned about is like, I do not change my kid's voice into a theater voice. I do not want her sounding like, not that that's bad, but she's got a unique voice, and I don't want that being, Because many times when you're in groups, people become like each other. That's what people do. You just mimic what worked for that person, not knowing that you have the unique DNA. So anyways, what's next for me is writing a song, writing more songs. And people chase trends, but and while that's cool, it gives you an idea where to be, I want to chase God who can create trends through me. You know what I mean? It's in the ideas, like, everything starts with an idea. And if you're bold enough to dream it and think of that thing, it's possible that you can birth something new into what you do in your line of work.
I think that's one of the things I love about artistry, and NCCM in general, but in what you're doing, I feel like you bring an originality that isn't necessarily expected. CCM music, if you turn on the radio, it has a sound.
Yeah.
And you just kind of know it when you hear it. You're like, oh yeah, okay, that's Christian music. You do not sound like Christian music. Your music does not always sound like Christian music, and it doesn't sound like secular music either. It is a very intentional, very Danny sound.
I appreciate that.
And I do love that about you, and I think you're bringing something that the industry absolutely needs more of.
I appreciate that. And like to just kind of bring like a thought around that is that, all of us, we don't intentionally try to copy other people.
No.
But when you see what's working and you see what radio wants to play or you see what people want to consume, it'll make you say, oh, I got to go do that. Let me go do what's being popular right now. And that's why we see like these ebbs and flows. Worship's popular now, so everyone's running to do worship. Then you see CC, oh no, everyone's running to do that. Then you see this trend or that trend. And it's not, those things aren't bad of themselves.
No, but
to get success, you'd be like, oh, because you'll hear from your record labels, oh, radio wants this. Oh, okay, well, we'll go write this so we can, because last thing you want to do is go write a song and then no one plays it. You're like,
right.
Well, it's a good song, but
if a tree
who
falls
cares?
in the woods, right?
Right, that's awesome. If a tree falls in the woods, do you hear it? Well, if radio and people don't stream your music, will they hear it? No, they won't.
Well, and I think a lot of it is what we're ingesting. Obviously, people have different musical tastes, but if you're listening to predominantly Christian music, that's what you put in is what you get out a lot of times. Yeah. So it makes sense to me, but I love how you kind of push the boundaries.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, you make radio-worthy music. We hear it often and it's great, but it is a step removed from what I feel like
thank you.
Is
that means a lot
there.
to me. And I'm evolving, and I'm excited because I want to be connected to the vine to produce fruit. And that's where I really am pointing with this next record.
Well, I think we're seeing your fruit.
Well, thank you.
Let's talk a little bit about family life.
Yeah.
You're talking about your kids. You're raising your kids up. Your daughter's got a unique voice. Are we going to see little Gokeys coming up?
I think so.
In the musical world?
I think so. I'm pushing them towards it. My parents would push me towards it when I was younger, with my mom and a youth pastor. And I was always a late bloomer because I didn't really have any vision for my life. Mm-hmm. And so I really instill that to my children because thank God, I'm making up for lost time, but I'm breaking in later than I would have expected. But it's because there wasn't a lot of discipline, a lot of distraction, even through my music career, just distraction, want to take the easy way out. Like I'm involved in more aspects of my music career now than I was before because I just loved I'll just let other people take care of it and hope it comes out great. But focus and intentionality, there's more fruit that comes from that. When you pour yourself into something, then pour half of your effort into something. And so, so with my children, we're making them do music, and they don't want to do it. They didn't, but now they're starting to learn a passion for it. My two older ones, especially Danny's really great at the piano, and he's a really great singer. We got to push them out their comfort zones. There's a comfort crisis in our country where everyth's about what feels good. Typically, what feels good is the thing that's the worst for you. And so with our kids, it's like, no, I understand that feels good, but what did Jordan Peterson say? He's like, make your kids do the hard things. Mm-hmm. If you don't make your kids do the hard things, you're setting them up to fail. So making our kids do the things they don't want to do, exploring parts of the giftings they have that they would rather just sit and play video games or watch TV or play with their friends, and just carving out space for that, and just being like Jesus called us, he called himself a good shepherd, being a shepherd to our children and leading them.
And obviously, if they grow up and they don't want to be a singer or a musician, you've equipped them with the tools to know that whatever they put their mind to, they can achieve it. And you've shown by example, which I think is a really great philosophy.
Thank you. And it's fun because in the beginning we got a lot of pushback, but now my one son Gabriel is in dance and now he loves it. We have them doing
That's
like
so cool.
salsa and bachata classes.
Wow.
And so, but in the beginning, it was a fight to get them out there. But you notice if you just keep pushing them, they start developing their own passion for it.
Yes. Speaking of family, Christmas traditions, what does that look like for the Gokeys?
Yeah, since my wife's from Miami and I'm from Milwaukee, it's been hard to. Our Christmas tradition right now is going to see my family, and her family, her mom and dad live here in Nashville, and so we'll see them as well. But going back home and following the traditions of what my family does, and so that's where we're at right now. I'm sure that'll evolve, but I'm really happy with that right now. And so we do Thanksgiving here, and then we go back home to Milwaukee,
That's
to
awesome.
where I'm from.
See all the family.
And it's a big family.
And
Huge.
Milwaukee, y'all probably have snow at Christmas.
Hopefully.
That is not a Nashville thing.
No, it's
usually.
not, unfortunately, and I love snow. I miss it. A lot of people don't like it.
Not for me.
It just makes things look beautiful. I have a picture from like 2 years ago where it did snow on Christmas Day.
Mm-hmm.
It's been twice since I've been back in the last couple of years where there was snow on Christmas Day, and it just makes it feel so much more Christmassy.
It does. I'll take it for one day, and I like to look at it, but I don't.
Yeah.
I don't want to just stick around.
Hey, this is Danny Gokey, and I'm excited because my Christmas tour starts this week with my sister from another mister, Miss Natalie Grant. It's a one-of-a-kind show, and so I want to invite you to come out and invite your friends and family. We celebrate the meaning behind Christmas, and we celebrate all the little fun things too, like Santa, reindeer, Christmas trees. But we'd love to have you out there, and we'd love to have you worship with us.